Welcome in, everybody. I'm Bobby Burton, joined by Jerry Hamilton, CJ Vogel. We also have a special guest right now joining us before this game, so we're going to get to him really quickly. That's James Simon, running back out of Shreveport Cavalry Baptist. CJ, I'll let you ask the questions and listen in here as we listen to young James Simon.
James, thanks for joining us. Of course, we're out here at the tailgate. A couple hours ahead of the Texas UTSA game. You made the trip down. Well, let's talk about last season. The score didn't go your way, but you had quite the performance. Talk about how your season's been going so far and what's still to come for you.
I definitely would say for the season going so far, the seniors have definitely had to step up, knowing that this year we have to lead a lot. There's a lot of us, and coming off of last year's team was really senior-led, so we have to do the stepping up, which we have tried, and we definitely came together to work on that. Last night went well, but obviously didn't come out the way we wanted. There's some few little mistakes we definitely could have fixed. So it's a lot of things in our control that I think we definitely could have changed. I think we should have won. I feel like we had the game, but just a little thing. So we're going to definitely make sure we clean those things up going on this season.
We already complimented you on the pullover from the SEC logo. So talk about your first game of the year. You were really comfortable, man. Great vision. I could see you saw everything in your peripheral. Talk about where you've improved junior to senior year.
One of the main things that I focused on going into my senior season was just being ready for the next level. I know my vision's good. I know that as of right now, just the most important things I need to focus on is my pass blocking. Just really being able to come here and get playing time and show that I can be trustworthy on third down or any down, that they can put me out there and not expect me to mess up, So my pass blocking, definitely just my running out the backfield as well, and just route running as well.
In terms of Texas, I know you're down here for the UTSA game, but Texas is on the road to Michigan, but on a pretty, I'd say, dominant display, come away with the victory. What have you seen from Texas so far, specifically in that running back game? Anything that's caught your eye through 2 weeks?
I've seen a lot of just explosive things. The running backs are all definitely put on display what they're capable of, especially Blue. I had no doubt Blue. I knew Blue was going to step up. Blue was going to definitely do what he can do, and I know what he does best. So I'm happy for him, especially. And I like Trey, too. I like Trey a lot. He's a young guy, but I know he's ready for it. He's always ready for it. I'm excited for Jared, too, to see what he got going as well. So everything's looking good.
Talk about the growth you've seen in the Texas program since the Start Choice has been recruiting you, even before you committed.
The growth, I would definitely say, started with Sark, honestly. And once I started talking to Choice, they offered me, we started building a relationship. I started looking more into Texas, and I've always been a big fan of Bijan, so I've been watching him for the longest. And so just seeing Texas since about 2020, how they've been building up, is definitely something that's so eye-catching. And Choice is the cherry on top.
So your dad was on the show with us on Friday, and he had the picture of you with Bijan when your father was coaching Arizona State. So I think you were in 6th grade.
I think maybe younger than
maybe 5th grade, right?
Maybe 5th grade.
Yeah. So as a running back, who do you pattern your game after? Who's somebody that the Texas fan base would know that you pattern your game after?
Honestly, Bijan, Saquon Barkley. I've liked Jahmyr Gibbs a lot recently, but those three are main guys. Christian McCaffrey early on, but those guys I kind of like them all.
Real quick, where are you height-weight wise? Because I know that's one of the topic conversations. Texas likes taking 2 running backs, and they like having them kind of offset one another in their skill sets and how they play the game. Where are you physically at the moment?
I would say I am a cool 6 foot on an average day. Sometimes I could get 5'11", but most of the time I'm 6 foot, and I've been bouncing around 202 to 197, just depending on how I'm feeling and my weight, just speed. I don't want to put on bad weight, put on good weight, lean weight. So definitely just in the high 190s range.
So I know all you guys watch tape of the other commitments, right? You watch Ricky Stewart. What do you like about his game as a guy that y'all are going to be in the same backfield together?
Ricky's nice. I like Ricky's speed and his vision as well. Definitely the way he is between the tackles. Once he gets a lane, once he finds his hole, he's gone. And he's going to be quick to get 6. So I like what I see from him.
Of course, I'm on record for saying Texas will win today as a prediction, 55-6. I won't ask you to give a score prediction, but I do want to ask you, what are you excited to see today from the Texas running backs and the offense in general?
I'm definitely excited to see all of them do their thing, score. I want to see something big, like a big deep ball or wheel route or something, or a big 70-yard run, something crazy, something that's gonna get me out my seat. Definitely something. I want to see Jared do something cool. Young guy. I want to see everybody on the sideline go crazy.
Watching Jared last week at Michigan, how excited did that get you for college football? I mean, did he even score a touchdown in Michigan his second game ever?
Right, I think it was the first or second touchdown.
That was his second touchdown. He's got one in each game so far.
Right. So that's amazing because he's a freshman. So knowing that I could be like that next year, I could get play time. So it's definitely great to see.
Absolutely.
All right, James. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Appreciate you. Good luck with that drive back.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Get yourself a nap in there. All right.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'll be good.
Appreciate you, James. That's James Simon, running back out of Shreveport Calvary Baptist. He is one of the two running backs in this recruiting class committed to the Texas Longhorns. Ricky Stewart out of Tyler, Chapel Hill. The other, he and his family are in town making an unofficial visit to Texas this weekend. Hey, CJ, we're sitting here and talking with you guys. Y'all are at the tailgate right now over on the LBJ lawn, having a little fun, meeting some people. I want to say this before we get going further. We are brought to you by Flight. It is the next generation of light beer with only 95 calories. It's an upscale light beer designed to taste and elevate the customer experience with more taste and just 4.2 carbs. Flight is an easy-to-drink beer with a crisp taste. Try Flight from Yuengling. We appreciate them and their sponsorship of On Texas Football. Not only today, but throughout the full year. I really do appreciate them. Hey, CJ, James mentioned a little bit about what he was hoping to see from folks today. What are you and Jerry, hoping to see in Austin at DKR later today?
I think it's important that Quinn has some big plays, some snapshot plays, some plays that ESPN shows. Because, he's the front runner of the Heisman race. I think Texas is going to win the game. They're going to win the game comfortably. They're going to be focused. They're going to come out and play. I think the fans are going to help them put on a show tonight. But I think one of the big things for me is, because I think we've been talking about breaking down all the guys that will get to play, that you're getting more experience. But I think there's an important piece to this. Quinn needs to keep getting his time. He needs some big plays in this game. He's the leader in the Heisman race. John Bianco's run Heisman campaigns. Quinn needs to have his moments in every single game that can be on ESPN, because ESPN is going to want to cover Quinn Ewers after last week. So it's important. Texas is going to win. It's a vast talent difference. I want to see Quinn have some big moments tonight still.
I think I'm a bit different. I want to see the offensive line. I want to see them dominate. This is a team in which you should be dominating with 4 or 5 offensive linemen returning, right? For me, Quinn Ewers needs to have a clean jersey by the end of the game. The only thing that should be on his jersey is some sweat because of the heat that we're dealing with right now. And 2, these running backs need to get loose down the field because of the running game, right? That needs to happen in my eyes. The Heisman race, I think, will come a little bit later, right? It is week 3. It is UTSA. His moments will come against an Oklahoma, a Georgia, a Texas A&M later on. It would certainly help if he goes for 350 and 4 scores. I'm looking more so at that offensive line to create some big running lanes against a team with the front 7 with significantly less talent than what we saw a week ago against Michigan.
I got to tell you all, the Aggies are now up 10-0. LSU held on to defeat South Carolina, a last-second missed field goal. Guys, I want to ask y'all, what's the scene like there in Austin today? I know it was crazy against Colorado State, first game of the year. Has the crowd showed up today in Austin?
Oh, they're still filing in, Bobby. We're about 2.5, 3 hours away from kickoff, and the folks who are out here are very excited. I think very much the same as what we got to hear about from James Simon. He was saying, "Yeah, I want to see the offense explode." I think this crowd that we're with right now, this group really wants to see a lot of points on the board, some fireworks, maybe the light show later tonight between the 3rd and the 4th quarters. That home game under the lights. Folks are talking, Bobby. They're excited.
I think the people walking around before we did the show, people are in great spirits. The heat is not keeping people away. People are here to help Texas celebrate that big win over Michigan and keep this train going, keep the momentum going. And I've believed all week that the crowd is going to be big, bringing the emotion out of the team, because you can't be on the same emotional high as last week at Ann Arbor. It's not humanly possible. Right. So the crowd's got to do their part, and there's thousands and thousands here already at the tailgates, People Boulevard, walking around. I'm impressed.
All right, guys, we got to talk a little bit about this. Jeff Traylor this week literally went and tried to serve his own amount of rat poison to Texas Longhorns everywhere, saying it's the best team they've faced in his 5 years in San Antonio. Then we find out yesterday that UTSA is receiving $1.6 million guarantee from the University of Texas playing this game. What are y'all's thoughts on all of this that's going on with the Texas, Jeff Traylor, and that sort of stuff?
Well, I've known Jeff for 2 decades, going to Gilmer High School, long time ago. Curtis Brown, David Snow, all the players he had there. Jeff is a genuine guy. He doesn't BS. He is just preparing his fan base for playing a Texas team that's the best team he's played since he's been at UTSA. He's not BSing. And is he trying to motivate his team? Maybe. But I think after you lose 49-10 and you can't run the ball, you can't stop the run, and they got the issues they have, I don't think that's what he's doing. I don't think Jeff Traylor, he always coached to win a game. He was preparing his fan base to watch a tremendous Texas team with a lot of talent. And look, Jeff Traylor knows all these guys. UTSA or Texas Tech's the first to offer a lot of these kids when they're really young. He knows the roster of Texas. He was even at Arkansas before UTSA. He knows the roster at Texas very well. He's not hyping up Texas talent. He's just telling it like it is. At the same time, hopefully his team, in his mind, comes out with great energy. They can catch Texas sleeping early, maybe. Maybe they're hoping for a Wyoming scenario. But he knows this is a different team. He knows they're really up against it, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, they were able to score 20 and keep it relatively close a couple of years ago. That Texas team to what this Texas team is, completely different talent-wise. Experience-wise and you know, just across the board, a different Texas team. I don't think this one's close at all.
I hope not. Texas now 36-point favorites. The line's even risen some more, CJ and Jerry, since this morning early on. It's up to 36 points. Hey, if you are out and about down in Austin and at the game today, stop by the tent, the tailgate tent. Jerry and CJ, we have a special giveaway today. Not only are we giving away koozies from Flight and On Texas Football, but Duck Camp, our sponsor there, also giving away some hats today. Please make sure you stop by. You have to be there when your name is called to get them, so be aware of that. But appreciate the folks at duckcamp.com for giving that today, as well as the friends from Flight. All right, hey, guys, I know y'all are busy. CJ, you got to get going here in a little bit, but I did want to ask y'all, anything that y'all expect today that we haven't really talked about much? I mean, one of the things that was brought to my attention was, and I mentioned this morning, is maybe some new faces that we haven't seen that much of this year, whether that's Amari Niblack or, I mean, look, you could talk about 5 different guys. Alex January gets more snaps. Maybe we see Darian Gillette today. Are there any guys like that y'all are interested in seeing today?
I think you have to start with Silas Bolden, right? You know, we've heard so much about him since he arrived in the summer. He lit it up in a number of the fall scrimmages. You've just not yet seen him implemented into this Texas offensive scheme. And I think his time will come. You know, he's too talented. He's put up too much numbers at Oregon State a year ago. He has too much experience on the field in big moments to be sidelined and kept quiet for this long. Is it a game like UTSA in which he breaks out? Is it a game in which it's in Oklahoma or Georgia where he breaks out? Whatever the case may be, I'd love to see him implemented at some point with 9 touches, at some point today or next week against ULM. That's the guy for me that I'm really waiting to see get his own against an opponent for Texas at some point.
Yeah, I think the offensive guys are going to have their moments. I'm really looking at defense. Like, Jelani McDonald's the guy that's coming on for Texas. Leo Villafau, every time he's on the field, he plays really well. I think pass rush guys are going to have a big day. But I'm looking at some younger guys on defense today because I really think UTSA, they've struggled running the football. So they're going to have to max protect. They're going to have to force the ball into some windows today. I'm looking for Jelani McDonald, some of those young guys like that, to maybe show out a little bit today. I think they're going to have opportunities to make plays either against the run or against the pass. I think pass rush. I wouldn't be shocked if Trey Moore didn't have a really good game against UTSA today. He knows those guys. He knows who he's going up against, strengths and weaknesses. So it wouldn't surprise me. Colin Simmons off the edge. I think it's time that Texas gets a lot of pass rush, even in max protect, because Texas State got to UTSA in max protect last week situations. But some of these young guys in the secondary that are coming on, Derek Williams, Jelani McDonald. I wouldn't be shocked if Manny Muhammad didn't get his first pick today.
I like that. I like that call as well. Hey guys, the other thing that I want to mention here that I think is important as it relates to all of this, I want to see Texas run the ball better. I think today, maybe Sark force feeds the power run today. So maybe we see that and figure out what's going on a little bit. I know we want to see the high flying numbers, Jerry. You mentioned it from Quinn. And what have you, but I also think we may need to see a little bit of the run game from Texas to see what they have in Jarrett Gibson, to see what they have in Trey Wisner and Jaden Blue on the inside, because they really haven't been that effective running the ball inside this year. So that may be a point of emphasis for Steve Sarkisian today as well. A couple other things I wanted to bring up. We've got a couple of news and notes here coming in. Connor Wegman did not start for Texas A&M. Marcel Reed did. He's led the Aggies on 2 scoring drives in the first quarter. Aggies are up 10-0. Florida State. This one from Adam Lane. FSU is awful. Kevin Wynn, come on down. FSU starts the season 0-3. 0-3 this year. Second time in 5 years for the Seminoles. One of the things that I talked to y'all and everybody about this offseason was Texas could not be a one-hit wonder. If you want to keep building your program, you can't be like TCU and go to the national championship and then wind up 5-7 the next year. You can't be like TCU or like Florida State and go undefeated and then lose 3 in a row to start the new year. That's what Texas has to be for a lineup right now. It looks like they're actually pausing the game, by the way, the Florida A&M game, because of lightning in Gainesville.
Hey, Bobby.
At this point.
Bobby, what did Nick Saban say on College Game Day that went viral before the start of the season? They were talking about NIL, and he said if you pick the wrong players, you're out of luck. FSU picked the wrong guy, quarterback in the portal, and they are out of luck.
Completely agree. Hey, what do you think about the situation there at Texas right now with CJ? And I'm asking you about this. What do you think about the situation at Texas and who they are leaning on right now, and what is to come right now for Texas? Because I think the program is in really, really good shape.
Yeah, I mean, Texas, I think, has done a great job of prioritizing good football players, Bobby, but also prioritizing kids that come from good families, right? We talk about the NFL pedigree and the list of guys whose fathers have played in the league or played at college level, and 2, finding kids from winning programs. And, I could go back to the 2022 and 2023 classes, and that list of guys who have won a state championship at some level is up in the teens. It's a really impressive accumulation of guys that have talent, also understand what it takes on a day-in, day-out basis to come in and work as a team and as a unit to all strive for a common goal, and that's showing off so far right now. You talk about Anthony Hill on defense, Manny Muhammad on defense, all these guys who have won and played for state championships, add in all the Westlake kids. There's 3 of them right there that have played and won state championships. You put them all on a like-minded team and on that similar unit, and it's going to show up at some point. And it's showing up last year when they won the Big 12 and went to the playoff, and it's showing up right now when they're 2-0 and the number 2 team in the country.
To add to that, you know what I think maybe the most underrated thing that Steve Sarkisian and his staff have done with this program is starting to really show up, Bobby and CJ, football intelligence through recruiting. Andrew and the portal. Trey Moore, football intelligence. Andrew Makuba, football intelligence. That's how you make strides on your defense. Intelligent football players that play on the same page. And you see it through recruiting too. CJ Baxter, that injury hurt Texas, even though they're ranked 2 in the country. High level of football intelligence. We talked about it when he was recruited out of high school. Think about all the guys we can point to on this team that have high football intelligence. Manny Muhammad. You start putting enough of those high football intelligence guys in your back 7, then you don't have all the coverage bust. You have continuity. You have communication. You have everybody on the same page. And defensively, early on in the season, whether it's because Scotty Hazelton's now part of that defense and coaching the Nichols, and Johnny Nansen is new into the defense and the voice for the secondary, putting it all together. Whatever you look at, it's a higher level of football intelligence in your back end defensively, and it's showing in spades.
I will say this, something you guys both need to know. Captains, and everybody else needs to know, captains for today have been named. And you talk about guys that have been developed and or football intelligence, Jerry and CJ. Gunnar Helm, Jake Majors, and the transfer, Trey Moore. Very fitting for him, given that he is in the situation he is playing against his former team, the UTSA Roadrunners. Hey, we're going to go to the chat line a couple of times here. Daniel Clark says, I don't see Texas giving up 17 today, maybe 7. I'm definitely 10 or less, guys.
I'm 59-6.
59-6? CJ,
Yeah.
You went 55-13. Is that correct? Is that
I went
still right?
55-3 or 55-6. I don't think they find the end zone today.
All right. I think
It's gonna have to be a coverage buster turnover.
there you go. All right. Hey, Rudy Serta has this question for us. Are these LSU struggles taking any effects on recruits? They got bailed out on the flag on the pick 6. They did do that. They were getting pushed around early. Then South Carolina lost their quarterback. LSU mounted a comeback. Going to be interesting here to see. I don't think right now LSU's struggles are that, if they would have been 1-2, I think we would have heard more. 2-1 and with a road victory over South Carolina, not going to hurt them that much.
It's not glaring yet.
What's that now?
It's not a glaring issue yet. There are issues in Baton Rouge, but it's nothing national like we're hearing about with Florida State, right? Something that's dominating headlines, something that's trending on Twitter or social media. Recruits see a 2-1 record and a loss to a top 12, top 15 team and think, okay, maybe they just got to figure some things out, right? We have a good offensive line. We have to replace 2 first-round wide receivers and the Heisman winner. Not an easy thing to do, yet you found a way to win a pretty important road game in conference play. Recruits aren't necessarily ready to abandon ship just yet.
I think that the biggest issue for LSU is they're not done losing. And the question is, how many games are they going to lose? And who will those losses be to? Like if Sellers doesn't get hurt today for South Carolina wins the game. There were some quarterback injuries that were impactful today. So LSU's not done losing. If they'd have lost today, it would have got really ugly in Baton Rouge. But luckily, they got out of there with the win because of a quarterback injury and a bad call. But I think LSU's got problems. They got injury problems. But Caden Durham comes in, looks really good as a freshman running back. But they have injury problems. They lost their best D lineman last week for the season. They got some things that they're going to have to really overcome with this team, including confidence.
All right, Scott Sturgeon has a question for us. Calling my shot, or actually it's not even a question. He's just calling a shot. Texas has 3 100-yard rushers today. That would fit my line of thinking that Sark's going to force feed the run. Here's another one from Duke Carroll. Matthew Golden is going to house a kick or 2 this season. I wrote this morning that we need to see some more from Texas in the special teams department. We really haven't seen much of note yet from Texas in special teams. What do you guys think about 3 100-yard rushers or a special teams touchdown potentially.
I don't think Matthew Owen's going to have many opportunities to return kickoffs today. He might just have one, maybe two if he's lucky. So hopefully he makes the most of that. But I'm with you. I mean, I'd like to see that running game get going, whether it be Jarrett Gibson, whether it be Trey Wisner, whether it be Jaden Blue. Explosive run plays for those wondering what the big whistles and cheers in the background are. The Texas team buses are pulling up right now to Bevo Boulevard. So we're awaiting the team getting off the buses and walking down into Moncrief and into the locker room. They're getting close here, Jerry, to time coming around. We're closing up on about 2.5 hours till kickoff, about 6:10. I'd expect that ball to be kicked off. They're getting closer. It's creeping up. And, of course, that Texas A&M Florida game will probably be still in around the start of the second half with that weather delay that just went into effect.
Yeah, at least that's not on ESPN, right? And DirecTV, that game is on ABC. So it won't affect the Texas start or the television for Texas. Also, DirecTV and Disney came to agreement today, allowing Texas and ESPN to appear today on ESPN via DirecTV. Hey, guys, look at these scores. UT boy with a big one, 77-10. Duke Carroll 59-0. Got to let Burt get a field goal. Daniel Clark 56-7. Shane Lawler says a 60 burger. It really says 63-3. Ashley comes in with 56-3. Says Texas ain't giving up a touchdown. Good stuff here from everybody today as we talk about the Longhorns prior to this. Of course, UT boy says Jonte scores.
I agree. I could see that. I think Jonte could get one tonight. By the way, somebody asked in the chat, is Texas still in contact with Michael Fasusi? I'm not going to say Texas hasn't tried, but I don't think there's communication there right now.
Fair enough. Hey, Jerry and CJ, a couple of questions for y'all as y'all think about recruiting. We talked a little bit about it this morning. Any kind of major recruiting news? Did Joseph Mbachu make it into town? Jerry, you said he was scheduled to. Anything as it relates to that?
Yeah, Joseph Mbatu. I talked to him this morning while he was boarding the plane with his father and the Grayson D coordinator. They flew out at like 9:25, 9:30. So I guess about 10:30 East Coast time. So, yeah, he got into Austin. He's here. Obviously, James Simon was on at the beginning of the show. Elijah Barnes is supposed to be in town. Michael Terry will be at the game today. Last night, Jonah Williams told me his official visit to Texas will be for the Georgia game. He'll also be at the ULM Monroe game. So Chase Sims Thursday night, his official visit. The A&M commitment is for the Mississippi State game. I feel really good about Texas' chances there as long as the conversations go well in Austin. So I think recruiting is the momentum continues. I think this is not the marquee game for recruiting. It's going to be Mississippi State and Georgia, but I can tell you Texas is already pushing some key targets to that Georgia game right now. Georgia game is going to have everybody at it. Mississippi State game will have a lot of guys there too. I think you have some young Austin area kids tonight, some commitments, obviously, plus Michael Terry and Joseph Mbatu. And Mbatu's big. This is an unofficial visit. Hopefully he comes back for an official visit later in November. That's Texas's plan. Alabama, Georgia, USC, everybody's involved there.
All right, guys, we got a little time for a few more questions and comments here before we get going. The guys got to get to their places on game day. CJ, you're going to go check out some stuff going on the field. Guys, make sure you check in on Texas football for that. CJ will have some live reports from the field before the game begins. Jerry, you're doing the watch with us with Aaron Hogan, as I will, and Bob Shipley and Rod Babers, too. Got a lot of stuff going on. Also want to thank one of our key sponsors, our friends over at South Point Dodge. Football fans, score an easy extra point this season when you get to this point at South Point Dodge. South Point Dodge has more than 600 vehicles in stock. Their award-winning sales staff doesn't do games or gimmicks. They just get straight to the point by getting you the best deal. Score big today at South Point Dodge. Come see us off I-35 in Austin or at southpointdodge.com. Get to the point at southpointdodge.com. Thank you for your sponsorship, Walker and the Stark family there at South Point Dodge. Guys, any final comments before we get going today here in Austin? Big game today for the Longhorns. Looking to go 3-0 with Steve Sarkisian at the helm, it'll be the second straight year they do so. Moving in the right direction, this program. Anything you guys want to add at the very end?
I do. This is big for the University of Texas recruiting today. Sometimes that gets lost. Big baseball recruiting weekend. Basketball is a top 50 guy in the country, and John Clark out of Houston Aries and out Link Academy. There's going to be official visitors or unofficial visitors from about every key sport at the University of Texas at the game tonight, on campus this weekend. So we talk about the football recruiting. It's huge. We talk about the game. It's huge. But from university athletics as a whole, this is a big recruiting weekend for the number one athletic program in the country. Sometimes I feel like that gets lost.
CJ, you have anything you're looking for, bud?
No, I think that's a good point. And it's a good opportunity for Texas to host a lot of area kids, right? They did so against Colorado State, more so today. You got a whole group of guys from Pflugerville Weiss. You got guys from Pflugerville High. You got guys from Manor and Hutto. Great opportunity for guys in the backyard for Texas to be taken care of. As we know, they spit out a guy every now and then in which Texas would love to have on campus. In years past, maybe more so before Sark really took over the job, they were not staying at Texas, aside from maybe the Westlake kids. This is a good opportunity for Texas, again, to kind of rub the shoulders and backs of some of those guys in the area. And you never know who might pop up in the 26 and 27 class and really start to showcase being a big-time player.
CJ just reminded me of something I totally forgot. I should have said it early in the show. I spoke with somebody on Zealous Hicks on my drive this morning to Austin. They think he may stay in the 26 class. If he's a 25 guy, he'll have to go to summer school in June to get the credits. So it's not a slam dunk for him. He's got some work to do to get there.
Gotcha. All right, guys. By the way, we are now going to do the duck camp drawing over at the tailgate. Guys, make sure you check that out. We also have some koozies to give away as well. CJ and Jerry, you guys go get after it. Get ready for the game. Kickoff 6 o'clock tonight. Longhorns getting ready to get it on with UTSA. CJ, Jerry, appreciate you guys. Join us on the game thread on TexasFootball.com. Also, join us here at Watch With Us, starting up around 5:45 today with Aaron Hogan and the crew. All right, guys, y'all have a good one. Thank you also to our producer, Matt Hutchinson, having to make an audible late today. Appreciate him.